Hello everyone, my name's Jimmy and welcome to this channel which I decided to create to help other people like me who are dealing with depression. So I'm going to be making lots of videos about depression and anxiety. I'm not a mental health professional, I'm just someone who's had depression for a long time and I've implemented my own ways of dealing with it. I've also looked up lots of ways to deal with it, so a lot of the ideas don't originate from me, obviously. I just made it because I really want to just help others who are dealing with the things that I have dealt with, maybe on a worse scale or even less of a scale. I just want to help people, and especially at this time. So yeah, this channel is just me going to be helping people. I'm not a professional, but I do want to help. So this video is specific to the situation we're all in. Obviously the world is in lockdown and it can be a very depressing time for people who are lonely. I live alone, so I've had to actually implement things in order to help me deal with this so I don't get too lonely and so the feelings of depression and anxiety don't take hold of me. Now the first piece of advice I would offer is to go out first thing in the morning or just after you've woken up. Now I do this because if I don't go out first thing in the morning, I can definitely feel the isolation, I can feel boxed in, and the depression will start to rear its ugly head. A walk is the perfect thing to set you up for the day, to put things in perspective and to be present and appreciate the beauty of nature and what is all around you. When you're inside and boxed in, you can lose sight of actually what is all around you. Instead, you kind of feel like it's just this place that you're stuck in. So do it in the morning, get out there and experience. With all the unpredictability going on around us, nature is a place to get that kind of comfort, that kind of sense of clarity, that smile on our face. So really take in what you see around you in the mornings. Really take in the sounds, be present, feel your feet on the floor. Just look around and just marvel at what's around you, because we go through life, and this can be something that would help us in isolation and lockdown. We do go through life, even when we're out in nature, of not looking around and really experiencing and being present with what's around us. And you can really see the things you've taken for granted up until now. So go out for a walk in the morning and try and experience what's around you, and it will set you up for a better day. The next piece of advice I've got is find things in your home that you never do anything with, or you've kind of discarded and left to the side in regular life. We are all known in regular life, and I'm very guilty of this, of buying lots of things that end up just collecting dust in the corner and we never do anything with. Lockdown gives you the chance to go through that pile of stuff that's always been sat there and focus on something different. So I have a lot of books and films that have been sat there collecting dust, which is very weird because I'm a book and film fan. It seems when we're in regular life, purchases can kind of become doormat because there's always something else that takes our attention. So this gives us a chance to just realise all the things that are around us and not take them for granted. Use this time to read that book, to dig out those clothes you never tried on and try them on, to watch those films that are sat there collecting dust. And it can actually make lockdown quite an amazing time of kind of discovery of the things around you that were always there, but you never got the chance to look into and realise why you actually brought them. And next up is, don't let coronavirus dominate your thinking. I would recommend checking the news once a day, and if it's getting too much for you and you're struggling to see death all around you, which I understand, maybe don't check it that day. You know, your mental health is important too, so don't feel like you have to know what's going on 24 hours a day. You'll find out. If it's something important today, you'll find out the next day. You need to keep that mental clarity, and if you're getting overwhelmed and putting this worldwide thing on your shoulder, it's not going to do good for your mental health at all. Don't get tied up with airing your grievances on social media and judging other people on social media and kind of lashing out, because your anger won't make anything better. It will actually make you feel more restless, and it will actually make morale worse for you and everyone around you. Many people think that blaming others around them or blaming the government for the way they've handled it, specifically that's what happened in the UK, the UK government wasn't as quick as other countries. You know, they think that will give them a sense of release. It won't. It will create deep-seated resentment, trust me. What we seem to forget with the government a lot of times is that they are indeed human beings. And being unprepared and not handling this virus correctly, yes, has a lot of repercussions, but these were human beings, and I very much doubt they did it on purpose. They may have been overwhelmed, they may have listened to the wrong advice, they may have focused on the wrong things. There's 1,000 reasons why it could have got to this point, and just pointing the finger and saying, no, they were bad, they didn't care, this and that, it doesn't lead you anywhere. It leads you to just stored up hatred. The best thing to do is kind of accept the situation we're in and work from there, and focus on what you can change. Otherwise you're just carrying on this kind of circle of resentment and airing your grievances and just not getting anywhere, getting even more angry because you can't change what you're angry about. Can you maybe accept that the government are probably doing their utmost to undo the mistakes they have made, to rectify, and that they're probably, the weight on their hearts is probably incredible. You have to think of that as well. You know, these people aren't just robots going around kind of maintaining society for us. They're human beings, and it's probably really, really affected a lot of them. Obviously, it's extremely heartbreaking that lives have been lost by the handling of this pandemic. It really was fairly shoddy in the UK, but they have done some things right. Complaining and resenting and getting angry will not bring those people back, and it's a blemish on their legacy. We need to remember those people positively. Anger and resentment is just going to make the situation even worse. So try and change the things that you can. If you find yourself angry, phone that elderly relative and check if they're okay. Ask if there's anything you can do for them. Phone and check on an elderly neighbour. Send a message to someone you know and tell them you're thinking of them. Offer your services to the world in love and don't focus on the things that you can't change. My next piece of advice is don't judge. Now, we hear of the people who are apparently breaking social distancing, and there will be a lot of people who are behaving badly and ruining it for all of us. But some people, you don't know why they're having to do what they're doing. We don't know the reason why a lot of people are still going out. Maybe they have an elderly relative they check on. Maybe they have an elderly neighbour they check on. Maybe they're still being forced to go into work and that's why they're packing the tube. Maybe they're in a difficult situation. Maybe there's something going on with their kids and this and that. We don't know, and this is an unprecedented world situation, so we can't judge everyone on how they're reacting to it. And it creates that isolation space of you sitting there judging others, getting more angry and more riled up, and creating deep resentment. The people who are genuinely going out and not respecting social distancing will end up hurting themselves, but there will be genuinely good people who are doing things at this time that you might not agree with, but it's an unprecedented situation and they probably don't like that they're having to do it. Realise that this is not black and white and it's a once in a lifetime scenario. Now, this is advice that I would actually recommend in regular How to Overcome Depression videos, but it's very relevant to isolation also. I think what you need to do is, if you find yourself feeling disturbing emotions, I think what you need to do, at least from my perspective, is you need to disbelieve the thoughts around it, but you need to experience the emotions around it. Why is that? Well, when we are down, when we are depressed, when we have these disturbing feelings, we've spent years being told, or at least presuming as well, we need to get it to go away. We need to get it to go away. Please go away. Why won't this go away? I shouldn't be feeling this. I can't feel this. This is negative. This is wrong. When we're happy, we're like, yay, I want to feel this. Let's express this. Let's hold on to it. But when we have a sad, disturbing emotion, it's like, no, get down. Get buried down there. I don't want to feel you. And then when it does come out, it can come out in destructive ways, like anger against others, pushing resentment onto others, aggression, restlessness. And what's helped me is that if I have a disturbing emotion, I can lie there and bring it up in the body, alone, obviously. So this is a safe area. So give yourself 10 minutes. If you've got kids, put them down in front of something. Say, I'll be back in 10 minutes if you're feeling disturbing emotions. And you just feel what they are. Now, this isn't identifying with it. This isn't dwelling in it. Dwelling in it would be lying there, I feel like this, this is bad, this is wrong, how do I get over this, da-da-da. You're not trying to change anything. You're saying, yes, this emotion's here. I want to feel it. Let's express this painful emotion. I'm not going to push you away, because when I push you away, it leads to you coming out in worse situations, or it leads to you being held down there. We probably have, I already know that about myself, we have years of stored up emotions in us because we usually don't express them or don't allow ourselves to. We push them down. We don't want to have them. So if you could just lie there and just let it take over your body for 10 minutes or however long. Maybe it's crying, maybe it's shaking, maybe it's just the pain, try and focus on what the feeling is, but don't identify with it. Just experience the feeling. And eventually, from my experience, it will dissolve. There will be a point where it dissolves. It might be painful, but but you have to let, because it's there. It has to be felt. If it's not felt, it will stay as resentment. It'll be one of those things that stops you doing things because it's stored up fear. You need to go, what am I scared of? What are my negative thoughts? I'm going to bring them up, these negative emotions. I'm going to let them do what they want, because they're really just unexpressed emotions and they want to express themselves. And this can be very useful in isolation, obviously. Like if you're a mother and you're feeling bad, like I'm not a good parent because I can't think of ways to entertain the kids, you'd let yourself feel that. You wouldn't identify with it, you let yourself feel it. And then the next step for me is, once you've felt it, you've expressed the emotion, whether it's shaking, tears, whatever it is, feeling it, you then question the thoughts around it. Well, hang on, am I actually a bad parent? This has been thrust onto the world, so how can I be a bad parent when lots of other parents be struggling with this? You ask questions, the alternative, and you realise the logical side of things, but you can't just do one or the other. Now and again you can. Now and again you'll just have negative thoughts, which you can solve by questioning. But now and again it's emotion, and you have to experience it and then question the thoughts, because you're dealing with the mental and the physical. I'm going to go into this more in how to overcome depression videos, but I do recommend you do it. Whether you have kids or not, whether you're alone, it's so important to feel those emotions. Don't care about what anyone says about it. You shouldn't feel emotions. You're doing it in private. And there will be a real sense of release. I really guarantee you that. So this was just a few things that I recommend that you guys do to help yourself through this time of isolation and lockdown. And it's just my opinion, it's just things I picked up and things I think myself. So let me know in the comments what you think. Does this help you? Do you have any questions? Do you have any experiences you want to share? Things that are getting you through? And if you feel like it, please subscribe to this channel and we can carry on. And I'm going to be talking about different ways that I deal with depression, anxiety, all that mental health stuff, because I really feel like while I still struggle with it, I've kind of got to the point where I know I can help people. So I want to. So it doesn't matter that I'm not qualified, I want to help people. That's it. So thanks for watching, everyone. My name's Jimmy. Share this around if you think it will help people. If it helps you, let me know. Thanks for watching again, and I'll see you next time.